Hi there, I'm Rhea from the COVID Recovery Initiative, and today I wanted to speak to you about recharging. Now, we know that COVID comes with fatigue, and we know that post-viral syndrome comes with fatigue, and we also know that stress comes with fatigue. So regardless of whether you are someone who has COVID, whether you're recovering from COVID, or whether you've seen a substantial decline within your health just due to the pandemic itself, it's really important that we identify that and we actually talk about it. Now, one of the biggest things in this is making sure that we're recharging. Life hasn't looked very normal. In the past, we may have had the balance of going to work or socializing or going to uni or going to the supermarket whenever you felt like it or exercising when you wanted to or needed to, and you just had more flexibility. Recently, due to COVID times and pandemics, there's been many rules enforced, and this has had an impact on our ability to find our balance or feel like we do have balance because life has completely changed. So what's really important, as I said, regardless of where you're at or your personal circumstances, one of the biggest things that is of the utmost importance right now is recharging. It's really, really important that you are aware of your personal battery and whether you're running low, and that it's important for you to recharge. So when we go through a time of stress or sickness, I like to use the analogy that our energy is the equivalent of a crappy phone battery. Now, I know we can all relate to that. A crappy phone battery means we need to be very strategic with what we're doing on our phone, means that we need to plug it in frequently throughout the day, and also means that it's a little bit unreliable. Now, if we keep this in mind from an energy capacity, sleep may not be restorative. Sleep may be difficult right now. Energy may be lower, fatigue may be a lot higher, and that might be associated with so many other symptoms as well. Now, we may have lost connection to some of our activities that helped us recharge. For instance, going to the gym or going to the movies, catching up with a friend, or walking in your local area, or going to a certain place that may be further away than you're allowed to go. There are many reasons that are coming into play right now that you may not be able to recharge as effectively as you have in the past. But it's really important that you focus on trying. It's really important that you prioritize recharging right now, because this is going to play a very big role in your balance. And balance is going to play a very big role in stability, and that is management or maintenance of your health status and being able to prioritize your health and being able to put yourself as number one. So what I encourage for you to do today and at the moment is check in. Have a look if you feel like your battery is a little bit faulty right now, and have a look at whether you're allowing yourself to get to a flat battery or whether you are actually consciously plugging in frequently throughout the day or throughout the weeks. So I always like to say that we can begin to understand a crappy phone battery or, a faulty battery. The more that we understand how frequently we need to plug it in, we can actually be prepared for that. Or the more that we know what actually depletes that battery a little bit faster, again, we can plan and prepare for that. And we can also set up stability around this or routine around this, and we can be proactive rather than reactive. So I encourage you today to have a look at what your body's trying to tell you. What is your personal battery doing? What is your fatigue or energy doing? And how can you better support yourself around this? Now, there are so many ways that we can recharge. And what's really important is identifying the way that we need to recharge. So it's not always to say that Netflix is the solution. I know that a lot of people have watched more than their fair share of TV or computer time over the last few months, and that's completely okay. But it's really important that you identify whether that's within your needs or whether that's your default go-to. Now, I noticed that my default go-to was technology. It was phone, it was iPad, it was laptop, it was Netflix or Stan or Disney or whatever it may be. And I noticed that actually wasn't helping me. So I began to pick myself up on this and noticing that I was going to a default. And when my energy was declining or my stress levels were increasing, I began to go to a default. And I realized that default wasn't necessarily productive for me personally. So that's when I started to keep myself accountable that I needed more outside time. I needed more mindfulness, whether that be breathing or yoga or Pilates or meditation, or whether that be craft. I've never been a craft person, but I've picked that up during lockdown so that I have something that's technology based, and something that there's actually an outcome of, something that I'm working towards that I can pick up and put down alongside other stuff. So I've focused that I've just trying to be more conscious of what my body and my battery is trying to tell me. So I encourage you today to have a look at how your battery's doing, whether you need to be more conscious of that at the moment. And then I encourage you to create a list of strategies that are recharging your battery, whether you're doing them currently or whether you should be doing them or whether you'd like to be doing them. And these can be things like, sitting outside in the sunshine. These can be things like calling a friend or a loved one. These can be things like listening to music or apps like meditation-based apps. These can be things like hobbies. It can literally be anything, but it needs to be something of the equivalent of plugging it in and you see that it is charging, that it is coming to life. So I encourage you to create as an extensive list as you can possibly right now and whatever is within your options, but it's really important that you prioritize recharging because that'll play a very big role in how you're feeling and how you're managing things, okay? So I encourage you to comment below what is helping you recharge at the moment, and I encourage you to share this video because regardless of whether someone has had COVID, recovering from COVID, or is just experiencing stress in response to the COVID situation, it is really important that all of us prioritize recharging and that we encourage one another to do so.